Alright.
Man, here we back, man.
Back.
ConsultatoGM.com.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're doing our 32 video team series.
Mm-hmm.
We all the way out west now.
Mm-hmm.
We done got to the west. We in the AFC West.
AFC West.
And we're gonna start with the San Diego Superchargers, the powder blue Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, doing past, present, and history. You know, pretty much state of the franchise, right?
Yes, sir. That's
So,
it.
you know, they had a pre-Super Bowl era. They had a lot of success with Lance Allworth, Sid Gilman, the head coach over there. And but recent success, they had some success like in the 80s with you know, Dan Fouts, Kellen Winslow, those guys. Senior. And then in '94 they went to their only Super Bowl. They did lose that game against the 49ers. Blown out, but man, the team, that Junior Seau led team, man, that guy was a beast.
He was a beast.
Year in and year out, man. Who else they had over there? Stan Humphries,
Rodney Harrison.
Rodney Harrison on defense, the enemy. So they had a pretty good team, but they just went against Prime. Yeah. Steve Young.
That's nothing you could do, man.
You know what I'm saying? Dion. You know.
Sometimes it's just who's across from you. That's it, man.
That's it, man. And then you know, we get into the Marty Shot. Those are the Marty Schottenheimer days. And then we get into, they drafted Ryan Leaf. You know, that was the whole debacle.
Yeah.
You know, but right after that, they bounced back and they drafted LT and Drew Brees and those guys, man.
Yep.
Yeah. So what you think about that team right there, man? That team was
The LT team.
yeah, LT. Just LT in general, man.
It's a baller, man. What's he at? Texas Christian University.
TCU.
He put the Horned Frogs on the map.
He did put him on the map. Every time I think about LT, man, the only thing that I remember, man, is that black visor, man. He looked like a man child out there, dog. Man amongst the boys. He was a beast, man.
Beast, man.
Closest thing to Emmett, maybe.
Well, he was more talented than Emmett.
Yeah, man. That 2006 season when they went 14-2. You know, they had a bad loss to the Patriots in the playoffs, but that's the year. You know, LT had like 28 touchdowns and he was just dominant, 1,800 yards.
But that was
season.
Broke some records.
Emmett was LT's guy though. That was kind of who he tried to pattern his game after.
Definitely, man. And that was a whole. They had Drew Brees. Then they went on to draft Phillip Rivers. That trade with Eli Manning, and now we've been in the Phillip Rivers era, man. And I don't know.
Well, let me say this about the former GM that they had, AJ Smith. Is
Yeah.
his name. It seemed to me that the dude, you know, he would draft the players, develop them, and then allow them to walk out the door. It was just mind-boggling. And as a fan, you know, that's one of the worst things you could have is you get the guy you want, you develop him, you realize he's a beast, and then you just don't pay him for whatever reason. I don't know if that's on the GM or if that's on the owner, but you know, it's a
guys
mistake.
like Drew Brees walk out that door, Michael Turner, Darren Sproles, you know, LT eventually,
Vincent Jackson.
It's just crazy. I don't, you know, I guess, you know, they want to line their pockets. You know, they want to, you know, slide some of that money back in their back pocket. I don't get it, but you know, you see what happens when you let talent walk out the door. You know what I'm saying? You either don't make it to the playoffs or you lose in the playoffs. So,
I think part of what AJ Smith convinced himself that he was this mastermind because he had been drafting very well, and then you know, not so much after you let those guys walk out the door. Not so much. You really struggle to keep an offensive line on the field, a consistent group of five. You know, you drafted like the Buster Davises, or you couldn't find decent receivers to this day. You know, now they have Keenan Allen, obviously, and Travis Benjamin in free agency, but they've struggled to have receivers outside of Antonio Gates over the last, 4 to 5 years. So yeah, he fell off, and that's part of the reason why he lost his job.
caught up to him.
Yeah, and like you say, now we're in the present, man, and we have Phillip Rivers out here, and he took a beating, last year. Even before that, he was taking beatings when they were with Norv, and they were trying to throw the ball down the field.
Vertical.
They kind of switched that philosophy, quick passing. He had a couple of good years, but then last year, the offensive line was injured. A lot of injuries over there. And like you said, the weapons weren't there. Vincent Jackson's gone. You have Malcolm Floyd.
Keenan Allen got hurt.
So, what do you see for them coming up this season, man?
I mean, it's going to come down to, first of all, on defense, can they stop the run? And on offense, can they run the ball, number one? Number two, can they protect Phillip? Well, number one should be, can they protect Phillip Rivers? And number two, can they run the ball? right now, for me, it's a big question mark for me.
Yeah, you're not high on that Melvin Gordon guy.
No, I'm not.
Hey man, listen to that podcast, man. That CPGM podcast, the fantasy running backs. Yo, he went in on Melvin Gordon.
Down on Melvin Gordon. I mean, I know they got Danny Woodhead and Keenan Allen, and now they like you said, they just signed Travis Benjamin. But like I said, can they stop the run and can they protect Phillip Rivers? You can't protect Phillip Rivers. You're going through another season like you just went through, and does Mike McCoy keep his job? I don't know. Defensively, what do they have on the defensive side? They got Joey Bosa. It's a surprise to me, but according to some,
it's a need though. It's a need. It's whether or not he can stand up and transition. Yeah.
I know they got Jason Verrett. You got Melvin Ingram. Jaleel.
Yeah, they got some names, man. They got some good names. It's just they got to gel all together, like you said, man, and be able to stop the run, and get to the passer.
And unfortunately for them, they're in a tough division. You got the Chiefs, the Broncos, the
Raiders,
Raiders, which to me is probably the most talented team.
They have the best quarterback though in the division. That's the silver lining. That's the silver lining.
If you can't protect the best,
No, I agree. I agree.
Good luck.
No, I agree with that. But assuming that they are moving in the right direction, assuming that they can stay healthy up front, they bring in Ken Wisenhunt. They had success with him as offensive coordinator before. Maybe he helps in terms of the running game. You can hopefully get Melvin going to the second level, so his talents can kind of be put on display. And you guys mentioned the run defense. I think getting to the passes is a huge deal too. You know what I mean? Mind you, Alex Smith isn't necessarily a great quarterback, or he's average. But if you give any quarterback time, he's going to carve you up. So they have work to do. But I think, and I wasn't thrilled with their draft top to bottom. Mm-hmm. But I'm always going to be encouraged because they have Phillip Rivers. I'm always going to be encouraged.
Yeah, man. And again, the future, man. What's the future of these Chargers, man?
How many years Phillip Rivers got left? And I mean, like I said, they're in a tough division. You know what I'm saying? How fast can the offensive line, obviously stay healthy, and how fast will things gel? The faster things gel for them is the quicker they'll be ready to go. But I mean, it's a big question mark for me, that team, big time.
Definitely, man. Anything else, man? Good, man. So yeah, man, this wraps up the San Diego Chargers. Mm-hmm. You can find us on YouTube at Couch Potato GM. Visit the website, man, if you haven't already, man, couchpotatogm.com.